What do you think? May a cursed person be blessed again? Well, in chapter 29, God clearly speaks about the curses that will come upon those who leave His commandments. But then now in chapter 30, He says that even though you are cursed, you are in exile, you are suffering, if you bring to mind what happened and why it happened, it was because you left His commandments. Then He says something marvelous here. How merciful is our God. He says, I will bring you back from captivity and have compassion on you and gather you again from all the nations where I have scattered you. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under heaven, from there the Lord your God will gather you, from there He will bring you. Wow, how marvelous is our God. And then He says, verse 5, then the Lord your God will bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, which means the Lord will restore the lost possession. Possessions in the Old Testament are ever linked to the keeping of God's commandments. When I keep God's commandments, then God will grant me possessions. When I leave His commandments, I will also lose possessions. But if I lose possessions and I say, Lord, I understand, please, Lord, I would like to come back to you and walk with you and keep your commandments, then the Lord is promising restoration of possessions. But then He says something very interesting in verse 6. He says, and the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your descendants to love the Lord your God with all your heart. This is a very important truth. I have been born with a heart that is unable to love God. I love to sin. I prefer to sin. I may keep the commandments in an outward formality, but inside myself, I have no pleasure in God's commandments. Only if my heart is circumcised, and this is the work of the Holy Spirit, I may keep His commandments by heart. I may prefer to walk on His ways. But this is not my work. This is God's work. And when I ask Him and I recognize them that I am unable to keep His commandments, and I ask Him that blessing of receiving His Holy Spirit, then He will give me a heart to keep His commandments. And I would like to ask that from God today. And if you would like to join me, let us ask God to change our heart, to give us a new heart, to remove, as He says in Ezekiel 36, He says, I will remove from you the heart of stone and I will put on you a new heart, a heart of flesh. I would like to receive that in order to be enabled to keep His commandments and to be blessed by keeping His commandments by heart and not as an outward formality only. God bless you today.